Hi, this is Diana from DivineFractal.com. Do us a favor and hit the subscribe and like button down below if you enjoy our articles. Today, I want to address the CNN article that came out, Dimming the Sun, the Answer to Global Warming. So this literally just came out today, November 23rd, 2018. In this article, they are talking about how scientists are proposing an ingenious but yet unproven way to tackle climate change, spraying sun-dimming chemicals into the Earth's atmosphere. I don't know if you ever look up, but if you do, you may have noticed this before, during, and after. And you get your clear sky and your little lines that turns into fogginess. Or maybe you've noticed this, or this, or this, or lines like this, or these, or these. Here's a great shot showing you a few minutes difference. And here's some fantastic pictures that we'll get back to in a minute. I wonder what that is. So, in the article, CNN is basically trying to act like this is something they're just now thinking about doing. We're just now thinking about spraying stuff in the sky. Guys have been spraying stuff in the sky for years now. This is called stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAIs. Basically, this article is talking about how, we could spray large amounts of sulfate particles into the Earth's lower atmosphere and make the sun's rays bounce off of that to prevent global warming. So there's a lot of problems with this, besides the fact that they're already doing it, in my opinion. The cost is astronomical, although they consider this to be a low cost. But problems with that are, what are they actually spraying? There's a lot of people that have done testing on what they're spraying actually, and I'm not going to get into that right here, but you can definitely look into that yourself and see what they're spraying and what that might be doing. But I can't imagine that it's healthy for us. Breitbart did basically the same article. Scientists suggest dimming the sun to solve global warming. If you do a little bit of research here, stratospheric aerosol injection tactics. So this is the actual white paper that this came from. And these are Harvard researchers in this particular abstract here. And they're talking about their capabilities and how they could do it, and they're not sure if they could use planes or not. You might remember just a moment ago when I showed you some pictures inside of a plane. And if that's not what we're talking about, let us know in the comments below. If you do a search on Google for chemtrails, you immediately run into this. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is based on the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails are chemtrails. And every hit after that is all the chemtrail conspiracy, right? So if you go over to DuckDuckGo and you hit chemtrails, actually you end up with virtually the exact same hits, which is surprising because usually you get a little bit better results on DuckDuckGo. But again, just it's a conspiracy, right? Now, if you punch in geoengineering, then you start to get somewhere. And part of that is because the word chemtrails has been basically demonized. They've turned that into, conspiracy theorists, so therefore it can't be real. But if you put in geoengineering, you'll get a little bit better results here. There is a website called geoengineeringwatch.org. And whether or not how you feel about their particular website, they have a ton of information on there. And I'll show you a little bit of that in just a second here. So geoengineering, you start to get more information in here. And then you start to run into this kind of stuff here about climate engineering specifically. Now, if you take a look at this diagram, they're talking about quite a few different ways that they consider doing geoengineering. But one thing that I want to point out to you is this up here in the corner. Increased reflectivity from aerosols pumped into the atmosphere. Yeah, so That's in one of the original proposals that they talked about. So basically some carbon dioxide removal techniques like reforestation, which is a fantastic way, just plant more trees, right? That would help us a lot. But right here we get into this part, solar geoengineering or solar radiation management. And this is where they start talking about it. And so basically what happened was they knew that when the volcanoes erupted, it put tiny particulates up in the air, but those are mostly sulfurs. And when those land back down on the earth, those are healthy and they actually regrow forests and plant life and things. But they realized that those sulfurs in the air were blocking out the sun and had, cooled it off. So that's where this idea originally came from. The only thing is, I don't know if they have the ability to get that much sulfur to spray it all throughout the air. Okay. So some other interesting information here. Experiment would test cloud geoengineering as a way to slow warming. So one thing that you'll notice here is this talks about a concept, they say. I don't know if they've made these or not. I don't know if anyone knows. But this is a concept of wind-powered, remotely controlled ships that could be used to implement cloud brightening, they call it. And cloud brightening is basically when they're adding something additional up into the clouds over on the sea to make those clouds last longer. And then if you run into this article here, are chemtrails real? New mainstream media disclosure sparks debate. This is a real picture, by the way, that was snapped. After a decade of denial and concealment of a highly destructive and dangerous experimental practice on unsuspecting humans, this year in 2013, the mainstream media's information super sewer pipe has begun to unveil the existence of a growing chemical garbage dump. We see them when we look up over our once blue skies. And the question really is, what are they? What is in them? And again, if you do a little digging, you'll be able to find out some chemical analyses of what's in them. Chemtrails, for the last time, are not a conspiracy theory. That's what this one's telling you here. There's so much evidence that planes are deliberately spraying. All right, there's a great website here called Educate Yourself, and they have a lot of links if you want to look things up. Hidden in plain sight, bombshell new evidence emerges as they're killing us with chemtrails as death rains down from above. The interesting thing in this article, though, is they are actually talking to you more specifically about what's in this. So one of the allegations is that they're spraying aluminum oxide particulates, and I don't know if you know this or not, but aluminum is connected to things like Alzheimer's and a lot of other detrimental health effects that can happen, especially brain problems, which is what I feel like I'm having right now. You actually can breathe in aluminum oxide as a nanoparticulate, and it can get in your bloodstream and actually cross the blood-brain barrier and collect in your brain. So I want to play you just a couple little bits of this. We're not going to listen to it. You can go over to geoengineeringwatch.org yourself if you're interested, but just have you look at just a little bit of this. And what he's talking about is that they actually had water vapor injection systems. Yeah, that these engines put out all kinds of pollution, but check out this video here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit so that you can see what's going on. And right in here, you can see, look at that. That is definitely not a contrail. Contrails don't turn on and off and make lines in the sky like that. That looks like a sprayer that's a little bit clogged to me. And then if we go just a tad farther here, Here's a video rolling across the sky, and you can see the lines. And what happens is you get those lines, and then they start to feather out a little bit, and they look kind of vaguely like a cloud. But man, watching the slow-mo video of it rolling over the sky, you can really see the lines. You can really see the lines. It's pretty undeniable. I've been alive for quite a while now, and I do not remember that when I was a child. All right, and one more little piece here I just want to show you. Notice the plane. Oh, and look at all of the stuff that's suddenly coming out of the back of this plane. Those are not contrails. Contrails would have to come out of the engine, not throughout the whole entire thing. All right, I have just a couple more things here I want to show you. This is geoengineeringwatch.org. Again, no matter what you think about this website, it does have a ton of information on it to get started. So here's a list of important documents. Oh my goodness. I will leave the link for these guys down below. But there's tons of material that you can go look up and see how long the government's been working on this. And then, you know, again, what is in those contrails, especially because it's probably not actually sulfur from a volcano, right? So this website here is called aircrap.org. And he is not the only one that asserts that it may be coal fly ash that they're spraying. And one of the reasons they think that is because coal fly ash is abundant. That's literally nanoparticulate that's left over in the coal making process. And so there's tons of it, and it's hazardous, it's toxic, so they have to treat it like toxic waste and pay a lot of money to get rid of it. So is it possible that they're spraying that? It's already nanoparticulate size, so it would float in the atmosphere for many days at a time, which would effectively do what they're saying, dim the sun, block out some of that heat coming in. Of course, what they're not telling you is that even if they do block some of that out, it's effectively like putting a blanket on the earth, which is going to make whatever heat's already here get amplified. So I don't really think it's a good solution. On this page here, we'll bring you to a link. They call it a chemtrail map. Again, if you call it a chemtrail in public, you're going to be labeled as a conspiracy theorist. So you need to call it geoengineering or SAI or one of those. But if you go to this map, you can pull up something like this. And this will literally go day by day, and you can look in the sky and you can see what I see, which is that that's not normal. I mean, at least that wasn't what it looked like when I was growing up. So I don't know. Let me know if it looked like that when you were growing up. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. There's so much that we could talk about this subject, so maybe we'll do another video in the near future. I'd love to hear any of your comments or thoughts down below. This is Diana from DivineFractal.com, and until next time, please be fearless, fill your heart with love, and create art. Love you guys.